Alright, in this video, we are continue to talk about the solution of the solving inequality. Now, when we talk about the 5-step, okay, right? We mentioned about keep the 0 on the right side and use the factoring technique to get the critical. Remember, we are looking for the x value, okay? And then made a number line, it's my favorite. And then we check the positive, negative as the final outcome and write it in the interval style. So when you talk about the Number 9, I want you to recognize something. I do have a denominator, so this will be very important because it's a denominator. We know the knowledge about denominator cannot equal to 0, okay? Because we want to solve that, so we have the idea, what if I want to solve that? So make that equal to 0, I know that x will equal to -2. But because it's my denominator, so it cannot equal to -2. Good? Now, in classroom, we mentioned about if I want to get the critical x value, what do we know about the rational function? On top, it's guaranteed my 0. So therefore, the top one tells me the critical value x minus 5 is my 0. So aka, I know x equal to 5. So this tells me I can go ahead and make those two critical number on my number line. So I have -2, it's very important, and I got 5. Now make sure, because that is a denominator, so it cannot equal to -2. So therefore, will be an open circle here, okay? Now, when we want to check it, I'm going to pick some number on the left side, so I'm to check -3. I'm going to check some number in between -2 and 5, so I'm going to choose 0. I'm going to check some number bigger than 5. I'm going to pick 6. Again. When you check the number, we're going to go back to the original equation. So -3 minus 5, I got -8, that is a negative number, over, now activate your eagle eye, because my denominator is an absolute value guarantee. What number I plug it in, my final answer will be a positive number. So therefore, I got negative number, divide positive number, my final answer will be a negative number. So I got my sign, it's negative. Continue, if I check on 0, as you can see here, 0 minus 5, that give me a negative number. Divide positive denominator, so the final answer still be negative. Okay, 6 minus 5 is positive, so therefore I got positive over positive, so the final answer will be positive. So this is what we mentioned about when there is a picture, the answer is in the picture. Now, the inequality want us to figure it out is less than. Less than means I'm going to look for negative part. So where do you see on the number line it's negative? It's from here to here. So therefore, we say that, ooh la la, if I want to give you the answer will be what? From -infinity to -2, together with -2 to 5. And this is my perfect answer. I do want to point out, during classroom that you say that, Ms. Ong, why can't I just write from -infinity to 5? Since everything I see on the number line, it is negative. Remember, -2 cannot be there because the denominator cannot equal to -2. So therefore, I cannot have the -2 here. So therefore, this is not a good answer, okay? Moving on, number 10, it's another good one. Number 10, compared to yesterday, we mentioned about factoring. It's the best way to do, indeed. So since we cannot do any common factor out from this given one, so we got to think about, can I do a different number to use a synthetic division to do it? Yes. So all we care about are numbers. So now I see that 2, -5, -1, and 6. All we care about are the numbers. So I'm going to guess what number I can plug it in to make this equation equal to 0. So I'm going to guess and check, put -1. So remember what we say, brings down, times up, and add, then brings down, times up, and add. So brings down 2, I got 2. 2 times -1, I got -2. Negative 5 plus negative 2 is negative 7, brings down. Times up, negative 7 times negative 1 will be positive 7. Negative 1 plus 7 will be 6, brings down. 6 times negative 1 will be negative 6. And 6 plus negative 6 will be 0. Ooh la la! Look at that. We get a perfect factoring solution. So I just factor my given polynomial to 2x squared minus 7x plus 6 equal to 0. Now, can we continue do factoring? Of course. So I'm going to make this 2x times x is 2x squared. Check. What two number times together will give me 6? 2 and 3, right? So I'm going to say that, Ms. Oh, how do you know which one to pick 3, which one to pick 2? Guess and check. So remember, I need to have a negative 7 as the middle term, so I need to make those a negative. Because negative 3 times negative 2, it is positive 6. Now, I need to check it. Negative 3 times x will be negative 3x, and 2x times negative 2 is negative 4x. When I add those together, ooh la la, I do have a negative 7 match. So I know my factoring is correct. So, in classroom, we talk about that polynomial function guarantee. The power tells me how many solutions should I see. So the power is 3. I shall see 3 solutions, which means I shall see 3 parentheses, right? So right now I got 1. I got 2. Where is my other one? The other one is right here. So this is my other parenthesis. Now remember, what do we say? The negative 1 is my x value. How do I get x equal to negative 1? The factor should be x plus 1 to give me a negative 1 as the outcome. So seeing is believing. Now you will say, Ms. Oh, now I see I have a 3 critical x value, which will be negative 1, and 2x minus 3 equal to 0. Give me another one will be 3 over 2, and x minus 2 give me another very important x value, which will be 2. On the number line, so this will be my number line. I got negative 1, and 3 over 2 will be 1.5, so that will be 3 over 2, and then 2. Let's check it. Choose some number. I'm going to pick negative 2. Choose some number. I'm going to pick 0 and choose some number. Now again, we mentioned about 3 over 2 is 1.5. So can I choose 1.6 to test out? Yes. And pick some number bigger than 2. I'm going to pick 3. So when we plug those numbers in, again, you are going to plug it back to the original given equation, aka I'm going to plug it in my factoring, okay? So negative 2 plus 1 is a negative number. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. It's still negative. Negative 2 minus 2 is negative. So what do I got? Negative, negative, positive. Positive and negative will be negative. So I got negative here. Okay, when I test out 0, that gives me 0 plus 1 is positive. And 0 minus 3 is negative, and 0 minus 2 is negative. So positive times negative is negative. Negative, negative will be positive. So I got a positive outcome right here. Moving on, I got 1.6 plus 1 is positive, and 1.6 times 2, it will be about 3 point something, right? So 3 point something minus 3 still be positive, and 1.6 minus 2 will be negative. So positive, positive, positive. Positive and negative, negative. So that gives me is a negative outcome. All right, continue. 3, plugging in 3 plus 1 is positive. 3 times 2, 6 minus 3 is positive. 3 minus 2 is positive. So all positives, my final answer will be positive. So activate the eagle eye. This question asks us for the bigger than, which means positive. Where do you see my solution? So it's only here from here. and another one from here. Now remember, we mentioned about use the interval to write out the answer. Now again, because you do not see an equal sign, so I had to use the parenthesis to indicate. So from -1 to 3/2, I will get the positive outcome, and from 2 to positive infinity, I will also get the positive outcome. And yes, indeed, fun, 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 no calculator. Moving on, number 11. Okay, so this is kind of like what we do as a review. I do see a denominator, so denominator tells me cannot equal to 0, right? So I'm going to solve that by 0, so x squared equal to 16. I cannot equal that. Remember, when you take the square root, you always have two answers, positive and negative. Okay, what do you know about the top? The top guarantee in rational function is the 0. So that tells me x plus 3 equal to 0, aka x equal to -3. So what do we talk about that? My critical x value will be -4, -3, and 4. So let's check it. Pick some number to check my outcome. So I'm going to check -5. Between -4 and -3, okay, it had to be a decimal. It's okay, -3.5. Between -3 and 4, okay, I'm going to pick, you can pick 0, right? You can pick 1. So it will be your awesomeness. Bigger than 4, I'm going to pick 5. So when you plug those numbers in and check the outcome, so remember the way we check it is -5 plus 3 is a negative number. Over -5 squared will be 25. 25 minus 16, that will be a positive. Negative divided by a positive number, the final answer still be negative. So moving on, you will see that so when we plug this in, -3.5 plus 3, it will be negative, and over a positive, okay, 3.5 times 3.5, that will be what? That will be 12.25, right? Minus 16, that will be a negative. So negative divide negative, that become a positive. Okay, and when I plug in 1 plus 3 is positive, and 1 squared is 1 minus 16 is a negative. So positive divided by negative, the answer is negative. Okay, 5 plus 3, it is a is a positive. 5 squared is 25. 25 minus 16 is a positive. So positive divided by positive, the answer still be positive. Now, no need calculator. The question want to look for less than 0, which means I'm looking for negative. So where do you see on the number line it's negative? Right here and here. Now make sure the condition x cannot equal to -4 or +4, which tells me it's a parenthesis. It's a parenthesis, and you do not see any equal sign, so therefore watch out for my -3. It's also a parenthesis. Okay, so what will be my answer? Seeing is believing. My answer will be from -infinity to -4, and another one will be from -3 to 4, and that will be the awesome solution. Last one, 12. Okay, so remember, we mentioned about factoring, right? So smile, because we say solving the 0. So I do know that the 4x minus 3 equal to 0. When I solve that, that will be 4x equal to 3, x equal to 3/4. Now, what do you know about this one? This is called the square root number. You know the square root is always what? Positive, right? So therefore, 2x plus 1, set it equal to 0. So I have x is equal to -1/2. What is that tells us? On the number line, I will have a -1/2 and 3/4 as my critical number. What do we know about these? We say we're going to pick some number to check it out. So less than -1/2, as you can see that, -1/2. What happened? You may say that, the negative 1/2. Can I pick some number? No, 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 no. Because my square root number, the domain, it's what? Always positive. So I should not need any negative number to indicate, okay? All right, so can I pick some number in between? Yes, I'm going to choose 0. And can I pick some number bigger than 1? 3/4, I'm going to pick 1. So let's check the positive, negative. So when you plug in 0 into your original, 4 times 0, 0, 0 minus 3 is negative, and negative times square root. So what do we guarantee? Negative square root is positive, so negative, positive, that will be a negative out. Okay, when I plug in 1 times 4 is 4, 4 minus 3, it is positive, and positive times positive, the final answer is positive. Okay, what is the question asked for? Greater than or equal to 0. So therefore, where do you see such thing? This is right here. Okay, now let's come up with the information of my answer key. Now, you do know that because there is an equal sign, so I can equal to 0. Seeing is believing. I do have a perfect 0 here, which tells me negative 1/2 is a solution. Check. Together with the proportion, I know that from 3/4 to positive infinity, that also works because that is seen on the number line. Okay, let's review this one more time. Because the equal sign, I know that should be a what? Bracket. Now you see how special, how awesome the math it is. Good. Okay, and this is the beautiful thing about math. When there is a picture, the answer is in the picture. And that's all for today. Thank you. Have a good day.